Have you ever started a show thinking it was one thing, only for it to completely flip the script and become something far more complex and mind-blowing? That's exactly what happened with Attack on Titan. When it first aired, we were thrown into a brutal, post-apocalyptic world. Humanity, on the brink of extinction, cowering behind three massive walls, trying to survive against giant, man-eating monsters called Titans. It was a terrifying survival horror story. The premise was simple yet effective: fight or be eaten. We followed Eren Jaeger, a hot-headed kid who witnessed his mother's horrific death and swore to wipe every single Titan off the face of the earth. We cheered for him, for Mikasa, for Armin, and the entire Survey Corps as they risked their lives in breathtaking, high-flying action sequences. The mystery was captivating. Where did the Titans come from? What was in Grisha Jaeger's basement? Every episode left us with more questions than answers, and we were hooked, desperately trying to piece together the puzzle. 4 years. That was the core of the story. Humanity's desperate struggle for freedom against an overwhelming, monstrous foe. We thought the biggest threat was the Armored Titan, the Colossal Titan, or the Beast Titan. We thought the story was about finding a way to defeat them and reclaim the world. But then, the basement reveal happened, and everything we thought we knew was shattered. The world wasn't just the land inside the walls. There was a whole other civilization across the sea. A civilization that hated and feared the people of Paradise Island. Suddenly, the simple us versus them narrative became a dizzying web of history, politics, and racial hatred. The Titans weren't just mindless monsters. They were people, subjects of Ymir, used as weapons in a centuries-old conflict. The story transformed from a survival horror into a dark, geopolitical thriller. The true enemies weren't just the giants outside the walls, but the prejudice, the cycles of violence, and the weight of a cursed history passed down through generations. And this is where the genius of the story truly shines. Eren Jaeger, our hero, the boy who promised to save humanity, slowly begins to change. The more he learns about the outside world, the more he understands the unending cycle of hatred aimed at his people, the more he despairs. The trauma, the loss, and the burden of knowledge twist him into something unrecognizable. The protagonist we had rooted for since the very beginning starts walking a much darker path. He sees a future where the cycle of violence never ends, where his friends and his people are destined to be destroyed. And in his desperation to protect them, to achieve true freedom, he makes a terrifying choice. He decides to become the very thing he swore to destroy, a monster. He unleashes the rumbling, a cataclysmic event to trample the entire world outside his island, becoming the greatest threat humanity has ever faced. The hero becomes the villain. The savior becomes the destroyer. Attack on Titan forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. What is freedom? What is justice? Is it possible to break the cycle of hatred? Or are we all just slaves to history? The story that started with a boy fighting monsters ended with that same boy becoming the world's final monster, forcing his own friends, the people he loved most, to fight him to save humanity. It's a tragic, complex, and unforgettable journey that subverts every expectation and leaves you thinking long after the credits roll. It's not just an anime, it's a modern epic. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell button.